All right. Good morning. Thanks for
Morning.
coming to Mental Toughness Training. We're excited to have all of you here, and we've just started the recording. So we are on number 11. That means we've been doing this for 11 weeks. And I hope that you are gaining some stuff from this, and I would love to hear any stories from last week or any of your thoughts today after I read today. So today's number 11, the world class connects to the source through gratitude. I absolutely love this one. And for those of you who might be new or catching the recording, we're using 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class by Steve Siebold as our mental toughness training text. Okay, so this one is gratitude. So Bill Gove, 1912 to 2001, the father of professional speaking, said gratitude is the aristocrat of all the emotions. That's kind of cool, huh? All right, the world class is famous for using non-linear thinking as a problem-solving strategy, and nowhere is this more apparent than when it comes to the heightening of their creativity. While amateurs become increasingly stressed during problem solving, the great ones become more relaxed to enhance their creative ability. Champions know the ultimate creative force is located somewhere beyond our everyday consciousness, and they must tap into this source to generate their best ideas. The secular sometimes refer to the source as the unconscious mind. The spiritual often call it God. Whatever label their belief warrants, few deny the power of the source, whatever its point of origin. Champions know the fastest way to connect to the source is through gratitude. Thoughts and feelings of gratitude seem to elevate the performer's consciousness to a higher plane than is accessible through any other means. Professional writers call it being connected. Athletes call it being in the zone. Psychologists refer to it as a state of flow. No matter what name you assign it, the experience is the same. It is a process that begins by letting go and mentally detaching from the end result or outcome of any task. The focus is on being as opposed to doing. While both amateurs and pros express or experience this phenomenon from time to time, the great ones are able to access it more often because they are aware of the triggers that create a mental climate conducive to this state of mind. Gratitude is a mindset of choice when they need to awaken the giant and tap their genius. That's really like deliberate, isn't it? That's awesome. Our action step for today. Well, I'll tell you the action step after we discuss. Let's discuss. What resonated with you or stuck out or made you want to try or yes, that works? You're all muted in case you're
I
trying
could
to.
go on and on and on about this one. This is my favorite. And like, as you guys know, I'm a life coach, and all the different trainings that I've done, gratitude is the one that gets gets the most attention as we're learning about that. And one of the things that sticks out to me is that gratitude, our emotions can be charted on a machine that measures the megahertz that
Like
our
the
body
frequency.
frequency, that our
Okay.
body is off with different emotions. And gratitude is one of the highest vibrating emotions that we vibrate. And so it's the one that's right before enlightenment. So
Hmm.
right? So when we're wanting to be enlightened, gratitude is the definitely the emotion we want to.
The way to get there. What's the lowest one? Just curious.
Um, it is. I thought shame would be. Oh, it is. It's shame on this
Same.
chart. Yeah, shame is. It's 20, whereas like gratitude is 540, and
Wow.
then comes peace at 600, and then enlightenment is 700 to 1,000.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Wow, that's so beautiful. Yes, so gratitude. And the great thing is, and I love this, is that it's an emotion of choice. Like we can always choose to feel
All of
and
them.
to step into gratitude.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And
It reminds
yeah,
me of, go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was just gonna say, truly, all of our emotions we have a choice in. We don't realize it sometimes because they creep up, but Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I thought you were going to say.
It reminds me of Pollyanna and the glad game, right? You can always find something to be glad about. If you haven't read or watched Pollyanna in a while, that might be fun.
I love that, Mary. Thanks for sharing that. And sometimes we forget that we have a choice because sometimes we let that rule us. A lot of times. I love this statement in there. It says, champions know the fastest way to connect to the source is through gratitude. I always think of prayer when you think
Hmm.
of gratitude because we have so much to be grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think spending that time in prayer and who was it that was saying, kind of laughing about at church, we pray, sing, pray, sing, praising, praising, pray. Oh, praising. Oh, right. But I love that also as just like a place of putting you into that um grateful position because praise really is, when you're praising God, especially like you're in that grateful position of just like acknowledging and loving all of his creations that are around you and all the blessings that he's poured out upon you. Did you make that? It's very beautiful.
I don't know why this reminded me of it, but you said once, well, like technology is getting the best of me right now. And I think you said that's a high-end problem.
Right. First world. First world problem. Camille, yay, we're glad you joined us. We're talking about gratitude today and how the world class connects to the source through gratitude. If you have any thoughts that you want to share, you can hop in and join the conversation. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. First world problems, right? When you are complaining about your blessings.
Yeah, that was it. That's what came to mind.
Yeah. Yeah, we always have so much that we can be grateful for. And when we spend the time in gratitude, that reminds me also of Outwitting the Devil by I forgot his name. Napoleon Hill. Outwitting the Devil. And he talked about like it's a conversation between him and the devil is like, yeah, I hope everybody keeps praying the same complaining prayers that they are used to praying. That people come in and they spend this time complaining about what they don't have and begging God for it versus either two things. One is being grateful for the things that have already shown up. And two is being grateful for the things that you've already asked for because you know they're going to show up because he's a good God and he's going to bless you. And even if it's not the exact thing that you've asked for, you know that he has something wonderful in mind for you. And that gratitude of just being in that position of knowing you can tap into that and feel that gratitude from the beginning. You don't have to wait until stuff shows up and then see if you're going to be grateful. You can be grateful for it as it's coming. So, yeah.
Along those lines. Oh, sorry, Linda, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yes, about gratitude. It's a form of connectedness. You get farther in life if you're grateful for things and you connect with more people instead of focusing on the negative and feeling shameful.
Yeah. I love that. And that is truth right there, Linda. And another thing that I've really discovered, and this is, maybe has to do a lot with our um just the difference in being able, like there's sometimes when you feel like you should be grateful, but you're mad at yourself or you're mad at your spouse or you're mad at whatever, and you don't want to be. And then there's other times when you've taken all your supplements and it's easier, right? Because your body, your chemistry is working with you instead of against you. And I think that sometimes we don't always recognize how powerful that can be. And so I guess just as the doTERRA plug, like do take your supplements. Like it matters to get that chemistry right and to remember to do it. And sometimes, for a while I had to set an alarm or you have to set them up, in the place where you're gonna, for me, it's like I have to trip over it, right? That's how I remember to do stuff is put it someplace where I can't miss it. But I love, I know Chris, you've talked about the habit stacking a lot as well. And so if you're new with us, or if you're catching the recording and you're new with us and you haven't really started on your supplementation yet, or you can't remember to take your supplements, that chemistry helps with that. Frequency makes it easier for you to have the kinds of feelings that, like gratitude, versus the feelings of shame and guilt. I remember when I first was introduced to oils, and we didn't have the vitamins yet. And I remember Mark Garrett telling me frankincense was brand new, right? They had just brought out the frankincense, and he said, and I struggled. Like, you guys know that have been with me for a long time, you know how much I struggled early on, especially. But he said, sit with your frankincense and just breathe it for a few minutes every day. Just sit in your rocker or whatever and just breathe that oil, because it will raise your vibration. And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But sitting in the rocker sounds nice. So, okay, I'm gonna go for that. So yeah.
That's another
Other
great habit to add. I love
yeah.
that.
That's awesome. I was gonna say that with the when we are grateful for knowing that God is going to answer our prayers as we go forward, when we have doubt, it interrupts that the things that are already set in motion. So it's going to happen, right? The doubt's going to creep in, but try quickly to get that out of our minds and let that go, so that we can keep moving forward in the gratitude and planning for those blessings that God totally wants for us.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Reject that reality and substitute your own rapidly, right? Those, when the doubts come in, just reject that. Yep. Awesome. Well, super good. Well, do you want me to move on to the action step? Are we ready for that? Anybody else have any thoughts they want to share before we do? Okay, we'll go into the action step. Our action step for today: make a list of 10 things you are most grateful for in your life and review them every morning for the next 7 days. Monitor how this activity impacts your emotions. I think this is a big deal, and I want to do this. Who's going to do it? Raise your hand. Awesome. Good. Yes. And then read them every morning, right? Review them every morning and monitor how it impacts your emotions when you start the day with that gratitude. Camille, did you want to add something?
Oh, I don't know how to unmute. Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, I think that I really love um the idea that, like, taking a few minutes in the morning and in the evening to kind of open your day and close your day through prayer or meditation or whatever is something that really helps me to really set the tone for the day. And then even if the day didn't go as awesome as I wanted it to, at the end of the day, I can still review the things that I was grateful for, and it just shifts the perspective of how I frame that day. And so it helps to keep my emotions in a place that's hopeful. And I love that you also, someone talked about how physiology affects biology, right? So or I said that wrong. No, anyway, it affects our behavior. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So anyway, and I see that all the time, where, especially in myself, where I feel like when I don't feel well, or I'm not doing the things that I know will help me to feel better, then I don't feel as well, and then I don't behave as well. Ask my family. So anyway, so that's all I wanted to add, is that I love the reminder to remember to think about gratitude and to focus on that. So thank you.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you for your thoughts. Thank you everyone who shared today. And yeah, take this one seriously. Make your list of 10 things that you're most grateful for in your life and review them every morning this week. And then let's talk about how that went at the beginning of next time we can talk a little bit more. And did anybody have anything they wanted to add about compartmentalizing emotions from last week? Did anybody want to share how they may have participated in kind of putting those problem solving into its own box and just being like, okay, this is where I'm gonna solve this, and then setting that aside when you have to face something else.
I don't think I was on last week, but that is something that I do try to practice because that, like, when I'm trying to help things flow with all the family and I have things coming up, that's totally going to interrupt the flow. And so it's nice to be, I like to set them aside knowing I'm going to come back to them rather than
Yes.
burying. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that brings me a lot of, actually a lot of peace knowing that I don't have to carry that with me forever, that I can take care of it later.
I'm going to come back and take a look at this again, or I'm going to set this aside for right now while I deal with this problem that's more pressing. And yeah, that's I do the same thing. And as you know, I've been working through, hopefully becoming better at getting through the kind of emotional stuff that can sometimes come along with the perimenopause. And Mary sent me the most hilarious the Holderness family, right? Did I just lose my okay? The Holderness family. She sent me the most hilarious video about perimenopause and how Perry, comes in and is like taken over for 15 years or whatever. But anyway, it was awesome. I sent it to my family. I said, please don't call me Perry, but do recognize that sometimes I'm a little off, and just help me get back on and remind me about the whisper. And I'll keep, tripping over my vitamins, so I take them every day. And my
I like to, I
phytoestrogen
don't,
especially.
yeah, we meet, it's really cool. As I watched that video, I was like, wow, some of those things have crept up for me, but they've not been screaming at me into my face as loud as I think they would have had I not had the supplements. Like, that has been so huge for me and has reminded me to put them out where I can trip on them so that I
Right.
can be irritating
Right. So
them.
you're gonna get them every day. And that's been one of the things. So I had taken the phytoestrogen for a lot of years, and then things just got significantly worse in the last probably 6 or 8 months. Um, and what I ended up doing was going higher. And I talked to a few people, and I, just like looked into, read some stuff and whatever. And so I went, I'm taking 3 of the phytoestrogen now per day. I did take 4 for a little while. My doctor didn't like that. So she just wanted me to only back down to the 3. But then a progesterone cream, which we don't offer at doTERRA, just like a wild yam that you can just get over the counter. I don't know, and I'm not going to tell you the brand that I use because I have done zero research on it, but it does seem to help when I get the headache that starts to come on, and I can put that progesterone cream on. So there are things that you can do, and a lot of the women's health, in my opinion, has been heavily um like it's just it's amazing to me how, like, in the dark ages I think we are on the whole thing of women's health. But I know that we've done some things, and I know the class that we used to teach helped me a lot during with the different oils, the clary calm and the magnolia, um and some others, and then also the Mito 2 Max, because your adrenals are having to take over this job as you're switching from moving, so it's not your ovaries that are doing all of that hormone production anymore. Anyway, do the things, but like look for the answers, and reach out to the community, because it really matters. But on the compartmentalizing, right, just like being able to look at that and be like, this is not me. Like, I'm definitely having some chemistry going on in my body, and so it's really important for me to do the things that I know I need to do, and then also to, like, kind of separate myself from that as much as possible, and also ask your family for the grace that you need while you're figuring out, kind of how to get through that, because obviously I don't want them to go through it either. But I also really need them, like, more than ever, to be more understanding of me, which is different, right? Because for all the years it's been me being like, okay, I get it. This is not like who you are. And now here I am of like, not who I am. Please don't think this is who I am. So yes, Mary, if you can find that video, share it in the maybe share it in the Northwoods Essentials group, and then share some of your thoughts and the things that you've done to
Okay.
help you kind of keep that at bay. That would be a great place
I
for
don't
it.
know where that is.
Awesome. What's that, Linda?
I don't know where to find it then.
The Northwoods Essentials. You should be in that group. But if you're not, let's get you in it. It's a Facebook group called Northwoods Essentials. It's one that was started by Heidi and her team. And we
It's
decided to join their team because they had so much more awesome content than we did over the last several years. And so we just put it together so we wouldn't be, hopefully having as many
To
groups, but
support each other.
we
Yeah.
still do.
Is that a
yeah.
Facebook group then?
It is.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
you've been commenting on her 30 days of
Oh, that's what it is.
health.
But you go to the community
It's in
part
it.
of
That
it.
If
is the community.
you're already in it. If you've been
Okay.
commenting, you're already in it. Yeah.
I'll post in it and then you'll see
All right. Thank you.
it'll notify you. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for your participation today, and for sharing, and for being here. I just really appreciate it. It's so fun. I look forward to this every week. It's fun to see your faces and to share with you guys. And so thanks for being here. And we'll do it again next week, and we'll talk about how gratitude impacted our emotions when we start the day with gratitude. So thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Yeah.